Corporate social responsibility, again, heavily influenced by the growth of technology. No chairman or CEO will resist CSR initiatives anymore. There were three things that happened were absolutely critical in changing the mindsets, I think, of corporate chairmen and CEOs. The first was when Warren Buffett sat down with Bill Gates and they did this deal in relation to the Microsoft stock and Berkshire Hathaway. And Bill Gates started the Gates Foundation. That was one seminal event. The second was when Rupert Murdoch and James Murdoch embraced carbon neutrality on the back of Al Gore's film. And the third was when Sir Richard Branson, here in New York at the Clinton Global Initiative about 3 years ago, said he was going to donate up to £3 billion to good causes. After that, it really removed any argument that anybody had that doing good was good business. This is not about charity and altruism. It is about building brands in the long term. If you're there to build products and services in the long term, you will not do things that violate the environment. You will not do things that violate social norms. If you want to build brands in the long term, you'll embrace these things. If, however, you're in the oil business and you want to rip out oil at the lowest cost, quickest possible time, at the highest price, you'll ignore it. But long term, that's what you'll do. And the last thing is about what's been happening in the last year. We look at, we gave up counting on the value of initiatives that the government was taking in the US and the UK at about $12 trillion. So the world is about $65 trillion in terms of GMP size. And we stopped counting on TARPs and TALFs and guarantees at about 12 trillion. So that was about 20% as far as we could calculate it. We gave up, I think, about 6 months ago. There's been significant amounts. So this is an incredible fusion of fiscal and monetary stimulation. That's got us out of the wood. By the way, we haven't gone any further. I mean, I think things are less worse, but they're not significantly better, particularly in the West. But the flip side of this is really interesting. The flip side is that the government has not only become a major investor, we've not only copied, ironically, state-directed capitalism from China. Because China, we were somewhat critical in the West about planned systems. And the Chinese system is a mixed system, state-directed capitalism. We're almost exactly not the same, but we've moved far towards that model. But the flip side is really interesting. The government has become a major client. The government in the UK is the biggest advertiser this year. It's bigger than Procter, it's bigger than Unilever. Interestingly, in the year before elections, most governments are the biggest advertisers. You see that in Australia, you see that in many countries. But the government has more so become a big client. And many industrial companies are starting to focus their business and focus their marketing on the government as a client, because increasingly the government is going to be there. So